All right, here we go. Scary rock vibe
Bum, 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 bum.
for a scary issue. Oh, I gotta get to my notes here.
Nice.
It had a scary vibe to it, didn't it?
It had an ominous vibe, I would say. Like something was around the corner, type of creepy. Not it's tough because like whenever there's kids, there's always like some innocence, and like the coloring was nice and bright and a little on the cartoony side, which makes things less creepy. But
it definitely had a bit of a chill to it.
Yeah, it did.
Hi, and welcome to Seattle's #1 comic book podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to the first issue of your next favorite comic, issue every week, episode 108, and I'm Larry.
I'm James.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Waka, waka, waka.
Waka, waka. So this week, we are doing Wolverine. This is new to Comixology Unlimited. If you're a subscriber, you got all, I think this is a 6-issue trade.
Yeah.
All for free. And James and I just read the first issue.
Part 1 of 6.
Part 1.
The Hill.
The Hill. But before we get into that, a real fast, quick, and fast, recent and decent.
What do you got for us, Larry?
This week, the final issue of Shaky Kane doing the art. And,
Shaky Kane, I remember that.
Shaky Kane doing this very bright visual art. The book is The Beef. It's the story, it's a love story of a mild-mannered meat factory worker and the love of his life, a strawberry picking gal named
That's
Lynn.
That's a good pair. A meat worker and a strawberry picker.
But he, somewhere in between him saving her life, he has to come to her aid, and something happens in that part of him coming to her aid that he hulks out in such a way that he turns into like
a monster.
Into a monster.
Like physically transforms, or just like
he physically transforms.
Breaking Bad Heisenberg. Oh,
he physically
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde
transforms into the Beef. And if you look at this,
the Beef,
and it's like a very big, scary Hulk creature that looks like packaged beef.
That's fun.
It is gross, and it's going to take you.
Is it bloody?
Oh, it's bloody. It's cartoony,
Dripping.
and it's bright with the art. The art is really the standout here. But and we've seen Shaky Kane's art before. We did Coffin.
Yeah, that's right.
What was the book? Coffin. Coffin Fly? No, that's not right. We'll come back to that. But Shaky Kane, artist extraordinaire. I love his art. Lots of color, bright, very cartoony, very fun. And this story is super fun, but it takes you down a bit of a creepy road when it goes into the sausage making, literally, which you don't want to see.
When you get to find out how the sausage is made,
you don't want to see it.
You don't want to know, Larry.
Issue 5 wrapped up.
That's what they tell you
this week. Check it out, The Beef.
Nice.
Also, it's by Image Comics.
Oh, nice. So, do we get, like, the first issue free on Comixology?
Not yet, but we will.
I know it's around the corner.
It's around the corner. Thank you very much for doing such a great job, Comixology Unlimited, because they also dropped a couple, a new book from, not a new book, but an old book from this week I was going to mention, Essex County, from Jeff Lemire, and this is one of his,
that's right.
One of his first big, great. It's a 3-story, 3-chapter graphic novel that is just fantastic, and it will definitely make you cry.
Does it have the same art style as Chew?
No, not Chew.
Or Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth. Yeah, it does. It does. That's my.
I really like that
introduction to
the impressionist style that he does. And
Yeah,
he pulled at your hearts a little bit.
Oh yeah, this is
Those cute characters.
3 cute characters in a very small town in Canada. So it's good stuff.
All right.
Free on Comixology this week. All right, so this week, James and I are going to talk about Wolverine, and he's going to do the setup.
Wolverine Origin.
Or Wolverine Origin.
Yes. Well, have you read Heidi? The book Heidi? Do you remember that book Heidi?
No. I vaguely remember it's like a little kid's book.
It is like a little kid's book. But this story kind of, for some reason, it reminded me of Heidi a lot. So we're first introduced to like the setting, and it's a long time ago, and there's like this castle in the middle of this village, castle type thing where this rich family lives, and then there's the rest of the village on the outside. And there's this girl who gets invited to go live at the house and be like kind of the caretaker companion to the son of this wealthy guy who owns the castle. Would you call it a castle, Larry?
Oh yeah, it's a manor of yeah.
A manor, yes. And so through her we get to see the beginnings of what this world is. And a little bit of a spoiler at the beginning. We never see any supernatural anything.
Yeah.
We never see any X-Men anything. We never see it says Wolverine Origins, and unless you know that Wolverine's name is Logan, then you don't. It's just like it's like a regular. It's almost like reading a novel or like a 18th century novel.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say right now I'm gonna finish this only because I've never read it before, and I'm gonna definitely finish reading it because all of that was so intriguing to me.
Yeah, it's if it wasn't called Wolverine, I'd probably still read it. But because it lays this hook of like, okay, when are we gonna see some X-Men something come out? When are we gonna see the glimpse of a beginning of a superpower? When are we gonna see? And there's a lot of hints towards it throughout the story, but not very like
bump you over the head. Yeah.
Yeah, not at all. Like they're really laying a deep backstory and like investing some time into really laying a foundation here, which I appreciate. But it wasn't what I expected.
It wasn't what I expected at all. Especially from the art style. Starting out on this art style, I was just totally taken back. It's a pencil and watercolor wash.
Yeah, it's very colorful. Yeah, bright, but yeah, okay, pencil with watercolor. That's what it is.
Yeah, and it's great. It's just great looking. It looks like a storybook that you would like the illustrations
read to your kid.
Out of us, yeah, that you would read to a kid, and just great color, man. Look how bright everybody's eyes are, and
yeah, and then even the whole panel will be bright, and then like there'll be a little bit of shadow over the eyes for like a menacing or a weird look, but it won't be the whole panel that has it. It'll just be a little part. It's so bright and colorful and like childish. It almost didn't match, but it did because we have. It's like I feel like it won't match maybe for the future, but I don't know where it's going. But it matched at this beginning because it's nice and innocent.
Yeah. Now I know that there's a couple different artists on this book, so I'm wondering if there's an art change.
I could imagine that could be the case.
Yeah, because
like maybe when Wolverine, I'm assuming Wolverine's going to get powers at some point,
right?
Or we're going to know that. Like I don't even. So we're introduced to 2 characters named Logan, a boy who's like a ruffian, street urchin kind of guy, and then his dad who's like an alcoholic gardener who,
child abuser.
He beats his son. Yeah, exactly. He kind of reminds me of like a Huck Finn and Huck Finn's dad.
Yeah,
then they go play with the the richer society people, and then he doesn't like them meddle or interacting with the rich people because that's how trouble begins. You know, like so I don't even know whether the dad or the boy is Wolverine. Potentially, they're both named Logan.
Right, but they call the boy Dog, which I thought was just...
They call the boy Dog, which is just that littlest bit of a hint that Dog and Wolverine are both animals. I guess.
And it's a very kind of a cutesy story. Hold on now, this very first scene though, where the boy, is that Dog who throws the dirt in her face?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so he's it's cute in a way that you're gonna push the girl that you like, sort of.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Pull her pigtails.
And he likes our main character. Her name is Rose, and she is
which I thought was a cool way to do it. Is like, okay, this is a Wolverine story, but our main character is a girl.
Yeah.
So that throws you off a little bit. It threw me off.
And she has been invited to be a companion to a sickly lord at this estate.
Yeah, his name's James.
And his family and his mom has so
he had a sibling who died, and then his mom hasn't been able to get over it, and then his dad and his grandpa are always arguing, and that's kind of their family dynamic.
Character.
His dad seems like a really nice nobleman. He celebrates Boxing Day, and where they the servants are the ones who get served on Boxing Day, and his dad is gruff. He's like, I would never do anything like that.
Yeah, his dad is a real piece of work.
Yeah.
And he treats Rose very nicely. He gets her a beautiful dress for her Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just very innocent. And
he even gives James a train for Christmas when he sees him spying outside the window.
You mean Dog? He gives Dog.
Dog. Yeah, he gives Dog a train that was going to be for James, but they gave James a dog.
Yeah, and this is all...
Just to confuse. They gave Dog James's gift, and they gave James a dog.
And this is all after Dog saved James from drowning.
Mm-hmm.
But rather than celebrate him and thank him, his dad treats him as though, yes, it was an accident, nobody was hurt, but you got all your clothes wet, and that's bad.
Well, and it could have been a lot worse, and you should have been responsible, so it didn't happen in the first place. And so the Lord's dad is in my day, what we'd do is we'd whip the boy and his father.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty harsh.
It is pretty harsh, but
then Dog's dad seems to agree with him. It's that's the old way, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, so we don't see Dog for a long time until this Christmas party, and it's just I'm just looking at these smiling the James character here with the lace around his, it's the traditional of the time clothing, but it's just he's such a cute little Lord Fauntleroy.
And Dog is the perfect counterpart with the straw hat and the piece of whatever out of his mouth. What is it?
Piece of straw out of his mouth.
Piece of straw in his mouth.
And he's got patches on his overalls.
Yeah, and he's barefoot.
Yeah. And he really he's a little bit of a jerk, but at the same time caring.
Yeah. Yeah, James doesn't really do as much though. It's much more Rose and Dog who are the main characters here.
Right. And then Rose documents all of their friendship in the summer leading up to this Christmas where they have this falling out. Mm-hmm. All through her
she
diary.
does a little bit of a diary entry, where you get your bubble text in a old or a yellow torn paper type boxing.
It's a great way to tell a story.
Yeah, it's really it's very well done. What? Sorry, what was that?
I was just gonna say it really flows too. I mean, the the flow really just happens. I mean, the romance between Rose and Dog